Hey up YouTube, everybody's here in the background.
Hello.
Sorry, less enthusiastic this time. It's the second time we've done this. Still not able to get down the plot, as I mentioned in last week's video. So what we're going to do today is we're going to do the follow-up, or the second part of soil testing, which is the test itself. At least I hope we are. Yes, we are. So I've washed and dried everything. I've got my soil sample. Now this has been settling out for 2 weeks, as you guys know. In fact, maybe even slightly longer, 2.5 weeks. You see there's not many layers in my soil. You've got clay, silt, nothing in between. It is still cloudy, obviously, but that's as clear as my soil will get. The soil test kit I'm using is perfectly fine with that. It even says in the instructions it's perfectly fine with that, and it's this one. This bit wasn't in the top, but obviously I'm using it. It's this one. I'm going to take you through step by step of doing one of them, then I'm going to line them all up, then it's going to be tea break while it settles out, and then we'll come back and we'll have a look at the results and how to read the results. Sorry if it's strobing a bit, the LED light's doing something weird which it doesn't normally do, so I'll try and move to, seems to be not if I move to one side. So anyway, this is part of a series which is going to be more about, which we're going to do all about soil nutrients. I'm hoping Aaron's going to join in on this one. He did say he was going to, but then his phone broke, so you know, things happen. So yeah, hit that subscribe button. Say it is a series. I will be doing more of this, and we will be talking about how to fix soil nutrients in further videos, and talking more in depth about nitrogen, potassium, and in this case phosphorus in your soil and what it does for your plants. So hit the like button, hit the subscribe button, and I'll see you in a second. Good morning YouTube. Welcome back guys, 4th time's a charm, eh? Yeah, sun now set, so yeah. Long story, but between camera footage corrupting and noises in the background and things like that, we've had to go through this a few times. So anyway, on with the show, eh? So we've got the murky water. This has been sat, as I think I said in the intro, has been sat for 2 weeks.
Hello.
She's making pancakes. As it is Shrove Tuesday. Now, let me see on my testing kit.
Tomorrow is Ash Wednesday.
Tomorrow is Ash Wednesday. Is you've got little graduations. They're just the millimetre marks. So I want in each one 3 mils of water. Don't take it off the surface. Take it from around about the middle of your water. 1/2 ml of testing solution. So you should be able to see what I'm doing. I will show you what I'm doing as I'm doing it. But 1/2 ml of pH testing solution in this instance. Which takes me up to about there. And then a scoopful of the pH powder. Bloop. The red lid for the pH, because it corresponds with the lid on the testing solution. It just keeps everything in some semblance of order. Give it a good shake, and then you leave it to calm down for 10-15 minutes, which is about the amount of time it's going to take me to eat 6 pancakes, maybe. We'll see. So they just leave that to one side, let it settle up. So I'm going to do the others, and I'll show you them in close up as I've just done it. Dog's getting her pancake, and yeah, I'll come back to you once the rest are done. that's all the tests taken, guys. So I'm going to go enjoy some lovely pancakes. I'm going to leave this here. Hopefully it's in frame. You might be able to see in the footage the colour change. I'll leave these guys here. I'll come back to you with the results. So see you in a minute. About 10 minutes, but you know, you'll see it now straight away. Okay guys, we're back, all pancaked up. So what also comes in the package, so there's all sorts of little bits and pieces in it, but what also comes in the package is this reading guide. Now you might have seen in the video that I've had to redo the nitrogen because I wasn't sure that I did it right, because I wasn't getting a clear result. It's still not turning pink, so I'm wondering if I've not done enough to get the nitrate levels back up in the soil. We'll see. I mean, these tests are by no means scientific, they're by no means perfect, but they will give you a direction in which to look at. If you want something more precise, you can contact soil associations. I think that's a United States thing. But there are labs in the UK that will test your soil for you and give you that exact parts per million reading. This, you know, I find is more than ample for the at-home grower. Gives you a good guide as to what's in your soil and gives you ideas of where to focus your fertilisers and things like that and what you need. I've got to say, this year you can tell that I've made a difference in the soil. The potassium, what's the K one? I can't remember. The phosphorus and the potassium are both reading really well. The pH hasn't really changed. I am going to put some of the pine wood chips in the soil because it's actually reading at 7.5, which is highly alkaline. So I'm going to put some of them pine wood chips in, just try and bring it down a bit. I'm not overly bothered, I'm not overly worried. 7.5, it's okay for what I put in the soil. And what I will do going forward is I'll go around and I'll test each bed. But I didn't want to confuse matters with having 15 jars and things like that for the sake of the video. So I've just done one, which you saw me collect. So what we've got here is we've got the testing chart, and we'll go with the pH one first. You see the pH is very dark green, so it's definitely sort of up here on the scale, if not above that on the scale really. It's definitely not down there, put it that way. So you see my soil is extremely pH, but that goes hand in hand with the clay content. Clay's got a lot of lime in it. It's what happens. The nitrate one we're going to come back to because I want to give it more of a chance, because at the moment it's reading low, and in the first one that I took, the first reading that I took, we actually got a medium reading. So we'll come back to that. I'm not too sure. I might do a fifth test on the nitrate off camera. So this is potassium. No, sorry, this is phosphorus. Now this has actually come out quite nice. So you should be able to see there's a nice sort of dark blue greeny glow hue to that. So I would definitely once again put that up in the high range. Whereas when we first took the plot a year ago, or 2 years ago, sorry,
that was dead low.
All these readings were coming back as pretty much non-existent. The soil was completely dead. So to go from low to high, now high really you don't want to be in the high range. You want to be in the sort of medium to high, because as I will talk about in the bite sizes going forward, where I talk about nitrogen, phosphorus and potassium, we will talk about what negative effects can come from having too much of those in the soil, because there is a negative effect. It can cause soils to hang on to things like calcium, which if you grow tomatoes, you know your tomatoes need calcium. But the last one anyway is potassium, and once again we're back at the sort of, bring it up there for you, sort of medium to medium high range. Once again, these readings were all pretty much 0 2 years ago, so to say we've had an impact is a good thing. I say I'm probably going to do the nitrate one again, but at the moment, you know, it's pretty much, it's not even on the scale. It still just looks like muddy water. You could perhaps say it's around there, but I'm going to do it one more time off camera. The nitrate one is the one that I've always struggled to get up on the on this allotment. We've done manure, we've done alpaca manure. I don't know whether it just washes out really easily in my soil. In the research for my NPK videos, I have discovered that nitrates apparently wash out really easily in a clay soil. So it could just be that for my nitrate, I'm just going to have to go for a higher N rating on my fertilizers, and the plants are just going to have to top dressed once they're in. I know gradually by stirring in organic matter and things like that, we will get those levels up, but in the interim, it certainly is looking like I'm going to have to continue treating plants as they go in with things like fish blood and bone, 6X chicken pellets, grow more, whoever said that, things like that. So it looks like at least going forward I'm going to have to do that, but I'll give the nitrates another test, and I'll put down here if I get any results that are different. I think as I've got 2 that are like this and 1 that came up as medium, I'm inclined to think the medium was the anomaly. So I'll revisit that one off camera. But that's going to be it for now, guys. So going forward, there is going to be a series on how to adjust these levels. I'm going to adjust my pH, but I'm going to do it steadily. I'm not overly worried with what I grow in this soil that the pH is quite high, quite alkaline, because I do mainly grow in that soil. It'd be potatoes, alliums, things like that. The only concern I've got with the nitrates one is it's where this test was actually taken where I'm starting to pinken up a little bit. This test was actually taken where I plan to plant out my sweet corn. Sweet corn requires a lot of nitrogen, so I'm going to have to look at getting things like some grass clippings to top dress them with and things like that. But we will address that going forward in the next few videos with regards to talking about each key element and the pH in their own video, and we'll talk about how to correct them both, and the positives and the negatives, what they do for your plants and what they can do negatively if the values are too high. So subscribe for that, guys, and until next time, I'll see you later.